In today's session, we are going to learn about file name pattern for current date. So this is a mini project, mostly dependable on file name pattern. So if you watch my previous video, I'll be discussing most of the concepts in the previous video. So this is an extended video for that previous video. So you will get it much better when you cover the previous video. So let's get into the mini project. So I have given very basic requirements, not a complex requirement. So the basic requirement of the client would be the file should be picked up which is in the particular format like date, month, year and year. So that would be easy, right? We will write a regex for this saying that the file should be in this particular format. If we go to the previous video, I have written this regex to pick the file if it is in this particular month, date, year format. So I would just reverse it, or the same would be working. It doesn't know whether it's month or date. So this particular regex would work, and we think our problem is over. Perfect. I have written a regex, and I'll go it. This is the channel which I created. I'll go to source, and I'll give this file pattern over there. Perfect. And that's it. It will pick the particular file with this folder, with this particular date. So the next requirement would be the file should be picked up from 365 folders, not a single folder. So in previously we learned if there are like multiple files, how only specific files should be chosen. But in this case, there are 365 recurring folders. Inside one file, there could be multiple files again. So it should choose only the file which is in this particular date format. So for this particular option, you can see we have 2025 4 as an year. So we have multiple folders. So if we go to February, again we have like 31 folders over here, which is nothing but the dates. So if I go to current date, February 21, there is a file over here in this pattern, date, month and year. So it should pick up this particular file. So what we will be doing, we will be giving this particular path in our directory in the file reader. This is default. I'll test it. Perfect. It connected, but it should go and check all the files whether this particular formatted date file is available or not. Means almost 365 folders. Even this can be achieved by clicking this include all subdirectories. Means this will go to this particular path, nothing but here it will be checking 365 folders whether the file is available or not. For example, if we'll go to my February, it will go to some 30th date, the file is not available. Again it will keep on checking till it reaches the file 21, and it will pick the file which is in the particular format. That is good. Even this is achieved. Include subdirectories. So the next requirement is file should pick only today's date, not all the dates. For example, today's date is February 20, 2024, February 21. Means file should pick only this particular file, not the next date. Okay, it shouldn't pick the file in the next available date. The problem is like the regex which we have written, it will pick the file any date, but it should be in this format. So you can see this is in the particular format, and even this is in the same format. This the numbers changed, but the regex doesn't know whether this is a current date or not, but it will pick the two files. If we have 365 files, it will pick 365 files in 365 folders. The only thing is like it should be current date, but regex doesn't check the current date, it will check the format. So that's the different. It will check the format, but this should check the current date. Now the whole requirement should be rewritten. This will not work. So we need to rethink how this will. That is all about this particular mini project. Now I'll go to my channels. I'll go from scratch. You can see this is a file picker project which I created. I'll double click on it. I'll go to source. I'll select as file reader. I'll give this 2024 year, and in the file name pattern I cannot give any regex, and I'll click on include subdirectories so that it will check all the folders inside it. Now how will Mirth will know the current date is February 2021, and it should pick only the current date files. So for each and every date, for example, if it's tomorrow is 2000 February 22, it should pick only the 22 file. So for each and every day, it should vary and pick all the 365 files on that specific date. So that is a requirement to be more precise. I'll go over here and I need to write a regex which should know what is current date. So over here, you can see there are like few variables which generally we use in multiple scenarios like original file name and everything. So there is already a pre-developed regex available known as date. I can drag this and drop it over here. Okay, many of them will not use this, but if you properly drag and drop it, it will come. So this will work. But the problem is you don't know what format this particular date is in it. You don't know whether it's in this format, whether it's in like uh, month date format. We really don't know. So for that to check, we need to do some reverse technology. For example, what I'll do, I'll copy this date in the destination. Over here, you can see there is another date option over here. I'll remove the template and I'll just drag and drop the date. So in the output, we will get the date. So over here, you can see the same date I have given over here. So I don't want to test it. So I'll give the star and we'll see what is the format of this particular date variable. What I'll do, I'll give it as channel writer. All is perfect. I'll save the changes and I'll do this. Perfect, right? Now we'll test it. I'll send some random message. Apple ball cat. Okay, I'll process this message. Perfect. You can see the count is 1, even it's sent as 1. I'll go to destination and over here the apple ball cat will be encoded in the date format, the variable which you have given. See, it's perfect. The content is nothing but this. So we got the format. How the date variable works means the date variable is nothing but the variable which we have given over here. Perfect. Just think, if this particular variable gives the value in this format, means it's going to pick the file only in this format. The problem here is like it is 21, yeah, it's date, and again it's month, again it's year over here, but the major problem comes over here. It even catches about the timing, means 13 hours, so it's around 1:14 now. So 13 hours, again it catches like 13 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay, I'll give it in hours. Hours. Okay, ignore the template. Hours, minute, seconds, and milliseconds. In so, is that possible to rename each and every file on the basis of all this milliseconds, hours, and everything? Will someone will be creating files in this pattern for each and every millisecond? You remember that? Not even for minutes and seconds. For each and every milliseconds means per day you should create around lakhs of files, so it will be picked up perfectly. But the requirement is the client is going to create only one single file with that name in this particular template. So our variable is not going to work. What to do? So that's what its mini project is all about. So we need to work, we need to do R&D, we need to do some research, and I'll show you how to do it. So this is one concept of trying to identify how the variable works, means what details are inside the variable. So the date variable doesn't work. The original file name is nothing but the actual file name, which is nothing but this. So nothing will work. We need to filter the file name on the pattern of only this particular base, and it should work and check that it is the current date. Okay, perfect. I think I'll go back and see how things work. So our pattern was date, month, and year. Okay, as we give any over date, month, and year. We'll go to Mirth Connect destinations and see if we can use any particular variable from here. Nope. The timestamp gives against milliseconds or seconds by default. Formatted date, if you want to check how formatted date works, I'll drag and drop. You can see it is years, minutes, days. Again, you will have hours, milliseconds, and seconds. So we'll do a test over here again, how this works. I'll go to file picker and send some random message. I'll give a search. In the destination, you can see This is a raw message again encoded into this format. Means again this is coming in this particular format. Means from here to here. Uh, Perfect. So it's not using milliseconds, it's using till seconds. But for us, it should be only date, month, and year. So this looks good. This format looks good as it is matching our date, month, year, but we don't want this hour, minutes, and seconds. So we need to do as much as testing as possible, and we need to know how we can use all these things. The problem is like the formatted date over here in the destination is not available in the source. Okay, you can only use this date, but the myth is you can use all these destination mapping variables even inside the source. Even though they are not given, you can use it. For example, I'll drag, for example, if thing is not there, I'll drag and drop the date over here. I can copy this date. Okay, anyhow, it was there in the source. I'll drag and drop something like formatted date. Perfect. I'll copy this and I can use this here perfectly without any issues. Mirth will understand that. That's an option which it took me a few weeks to explore because even I was not able to get this particular requirement perfectly. So I was trying multiple JavaScript variables, but Mirth doesn't understand. If you give any specific variable from JavaScript, if you Google it or do anything, Mirth will not understand that, and that too inside the source. You will be creating any transformers variables, but Mirth will not understand. What I did, I opened the transformer in the source. I created a variable which picks the current date. Okay, but even that has a complications when I use it over here. It doesn't pick up. So that's how the real-time scenarios works. There will be no solution, and you should find out the solution. Again, when I come back, this was what I needed, but I was getting till this part. Okay, I need to chop off these things. So if you remember, you were working in the previous video on multiple regex formats. Okay, like tens of patterns, different size, and I even taught you on the basics of regex format. If you know how to use regular expressions, you can convert this even. So what I did, it's very simple. Over here you can see year, month, date. So what I did, I removed this seconds, hours, and minutes. That's it. So I'll copy the same and see how it works. So in the source, again, I don't want to do any changes. We'll see whether this is coming in that particular format. I'll save the changes. You can see in the destination, I only gave year, month, date. I'll deploy it. So that's how I am testing a variable in the destination, but actually I need to use in the source. So you need to think creatively. I'll send some random message and process it. So in the destination, you can see encoded sent. Perfect. The output which I got is in this format. Okay, I'll add a new line. Oh, sorry. I'll add a new line over here. Perfect. So the output which I got is in this format for the variable which I gave in the destination, which I'll go over here and pick up. I'm just pasting it for your understanding. So this was a variable which I used and I got the output in this format. That looks good, but can we do few more changes? Can we alter this date and see whether it works or not? I'll go ahead and over here what I will do, I'll do something like this. I'll give a date, again hyphen, I'll give a month, again hyphen, I'll remove this. So I want in this format. Okay, so I'll save the changes, I'll deploy it. Perfect. So I'm going to give send some random message again, apple, whatever it is. I'll process this message and I'll search the destination, again some random message. In the sent, you can see the message has been altered. means it is in the format of date, okay, month. If we have 2 digits in the month, it will take 2 digits. Currently it's taking 1 digit, and year. So we were able to successfully manipulate this particular variable to our own requirement. Okay, you got it right, what I said. I'll just go ahead and copy from the source and the destination. Yeah, we were able to successfully manipulate this. I'll copy it here. Just I changed the format. Means we need it in this particular format and we got it. You might be wondering, it says only 02, but when you send the file, when it is November, it will actually send something like this. Means it is nothing but in this format. So that's not a big deal. It's taking on the base of digits. It's not taking extra digits. So we are able to achieve this perfectly without any issues. So that's how you need to crack it down. Now what I'll do, I'll use this variable and check it in the source whether it's picking it up or not. I'll go to source. I'll put this. Remember, we are trying to pick up today's file, and that's in the CSV format. We are going to give it as .csv. That's perfect, right? I hope we'll be doing some mistakes for sure, but we'll see how it's going to work. So in the .csv, I'll try to uh, give some values like this. I gave it as a room number and details of like Sachin Tendulkar, all our senior players. I'll refresh it. I'll go, I'll save the changes. Just check your file is in this format, date, month, year .csv. Again check, yeah, date, month, year .csv. I'll save the changes and I'll deploy it. I'll just stop it for one purpose. I want to remove this for file statistics. I'll remove everything. Perfect. Now we will test at 0 here whether this current file is being picked up or not. I'll start it. I'll start it. Now it's polling. Polling means it's checking 365 folders. So that's the reason you can see in the connection it's polling. Generally it will be idle or connected, but in our case, it should check almost 365 days, right? It's trying to poll. And you can see it has been picking up the files. Means for this particular date, it is picking up the files. I'll go on the source and I'll click on it. You can see all the names like Sachin, Rahul, Virat, everything has been picked up successfully. Means our amazing variable is being worked, which we really don't have in the source. Okay, which we really don't have in the source channel, but even we really don't have in the destination channels, but we formatted in the format, so it should work. So that's how we can do magics in Mirth. Now we'll see. You might be thinking, no, it might be picking from some other file. What I'll do, the count is 11 right now, right? I'll try to delete this particular CSV file from this February 21 and see if it's trying to pick really from some other folder. I'll delete it. I'll come back. I'll refresh. So the current time is the current file is 14. Now it will not be able to pick. I'll refresh it. I'll wait for multiple seconds. So it's really coming into this folder and trying to search the file name with this pattern, and it's really working. So we are able to perform such a complex task in a simple way. So many people will try to write some JavaScript codes and filters. So it would be very difficult for the people who are not sure about programming and JavaScript coding. It would be very, very difficult. So even I didn't want to write it. I want to make it as simple as possible. So even the future developer, when he comes, it would be very easy for him to change this date. So you can achieve like hundreds of thousands of pattern in this way. If I keep on making videos, it would take like 1 year to just cover the file name pattern. That's it. So this is, remember, this is just a mini project. So I would love to do even major projects with more complex requirements, not only with this three, but more complex requirements. So that video might take around 2 hours to 3 hours. So the audience will lose the interest. So I am just doing mini projects, maybe around 20 to 30 minutes, and cover the initial steps of the mini project. So that's it from today's session. Just keep post your comments if you have any initiatives or if you want me to do any more other videos. I would be happy to do. But remember one thing, we can do anything and achieve any particular format over here. So that's the video which covers the include all directories and the file name pattern which you can do. Okay, I hope you were able to understand it. If I am very fast, make it in 0.75x and you'll be able to understand. Thank you.